meant, what each of the dreams meant, and everything happened just as he predicted. I was restored to my position as cupbearer, and the chief baker was executed and impaled on a pole. Pharaoh sent for Joseph at once, and he was quickly brought from the prison. After he shaved and changed his clothes, he went in and stood before Pharaoh. Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, I had a dream last night, and no one here can tell me what the dream means. But I have heard that when you hear about a dream, you can interpret it. Joseph said, it is beyond my power to do this. But God can tell you what it means and set you at ease. Have you seen that? It was the gift. At first, he was the head of Potiphar's house. He was falsely accused and imprisoned in the king's prison. From there, he interpreted dreams for the cupbearer and the chief baker, and they all went as predicted. Now, it is the king having a dream, and we have this young Hebrew boy who has the spirit of interpreting dreams, the gift from God of dream interpretation. And he was brought. So the gift has paved for him a way. The gift has sold him to Pharaoh. The gift has brought him to the palace, from the prison to the king. How else would he live? Maybe after serving his punishment, until when? Nobody knows. It is the gift. Each of these things have a different role to play. A gift has its role to play. That's why when you miss any of those, you will not be fruitful. You won't be prosperous. You will not succeed. You won't be successful. You will not have good success, the Bible talks about. Because you have a gift, you need other things. The boy came to, and Pharaoh told him his dream. Pharaoh told him his dream. In verse 25, Joseph responds. We've seen the dreams. Joseph responds, he says, both of Pharaoh's dreams mean the same thing, and surely they meant the same thing. The second dream came as as an emphasis. If you see the same dream over and over, it is an emphasis. It is emphatic. God is trying to tell you that I mean it. I'm emphasizing this is what is going to happen. That's why you've heard it more than once. To emphasize it. To draw your soul, to God to draw your attention to it. Every time you see God repeating himself, he is emphasizing. He is confirming to you that I am going to perform it. He responded, they mean the same thing. God is telling Pharaoh in advance what he is about to do. The 7 healthy cows and the 7 healthy heads of grain both represent 7 years of prosperity. The 7 thin scrawny cows that came after the 7 thin heads of grain withered by the east wind represent 7 years of famine. And this will happen just as I have described it, for God has revealed to Pharaoh in advance what he is about to do. The next 7 years will be a period of great prosperity throughout the land of Egypt. But afterward, there will be 7 years of famine, so great that all the prosperity will be forgotten. In Egypt, famine will destroy the land. This famine will be so severe that even the memory of the good years will be erased. Can you imagine? As for having 2 similar dreams, it means that these events have been decreed by God and he will soon make them happen. Having the same dream 2 times, God is telling you that surely I am going to perform it. He's confirming it to you. Have you seen it? Have you seen now what the gift was doing? He has described it. He is before Pharaoh. He has described it. And gift is going to lead to something else. A gift, because of its power it has on you or over us, that gift from God, it does not only pave way for you or bring you opportunities, it is capable of giving you more favor, more grace, more favor. Every time you walk in the gift, God gives more grace. God gives more grace. You are favored the more. People will favor you. You'll be favored before God and before people. Now, we are going to see what favor did. The other one, just interpretation of the dream. That is all. Joseph's suggestions were well received by Pharaoh and his officials. So Pharaoh asked, while Joseph was interpreting the dream, he did not stop. He did not stop at only interpreting the dream. He also had that other gift. He had wisdom. He had wisdom. He advised the king. He told the king, but now what you should do, find someone wise and discreet. Someone who can gather food from all over Egypt, that we can store it up in the storehouses and save it for the 7 years of famine. That's what he advised. That's what he recommended. Brothers and sisters, after you've interpreted that dream to someone, are you able to advise them according to what the dream meant? Or you just tell them and you walk away? You leave them with more stress. That's why before you take someone your dream, be sure that the person will be able to advise you accordingly. We've seen it. Someone tells you what the dream means and they leave you more disturbed, they leave you perplexed. You are left very, very, very uncomfortable, very disturbed, very stressed, tortured psychologically, emotionally, and you wonder if the interpretation meant any difference. The interpretation can make it worse if someone is not able to advise you on the next step to take after giving you the bad dream they had. I had a dream when you had died, and they walk away. So they leave you so stressed. You last heard that when someone dreams you when you're dead, when you have a dream about someone, when they are dead, they die. That is the last you had. So I have interpreted your dream that you will die. I walk away. So have I helped you? Has the interpretation served any purpose? If we must be fruitful, if we must be of relevancy in the kingdom, we shouldn't just stop at interpreting dreams. Or just certain things should be incidental too. Be a good or a bad dream, just make sure you advise someone on the next step to take. Even if it is a good dream, advise them to pray over it so that it comes to pass. So that it comes to pass. We've seen sometimes we have good dreams, but they never happen. Haven't you seen it? After having them, we just get excited. 10 years down the road, 3 years, a full year. Every time you get that dream, you just sleep. You just get excited, and you're like, wow. You stop there. You can't even pray over it for the dream to come to pass. So we should be able to advise. If it is a bad dream, we should be able to cancel it through prayer, depending on the dream. We go on. Joseph advised Pharaoh, find someone wise and discreet who can help gather correct food, build storehouses, food barns all over the land, so that people can bring their food in the storehouses. We prepare ourselves for the 7 years of famine that will come to this land. This will happen just as I've described it. Therefore, Pharaoh should find an intelligent and wise man and put him in charge, an intelligent and wise man, and put him in charge of the entire land of Egypt. Have you seen? Then Pharaoh should appoint supervisors over the land and let them correct 1/5 of all the crops during the 7 good years. Have them gather all the food produced in the good years that are just ahead and bring it to Pharaoh's storehouses. Store it away and guard it so there will be food in the cities. That way there will be enough to eat when the 7 years of famine come to the land of Egypt. Otherwise, this famine will destroy the land. If you must know that you know the correct interpretation to that dream. If you have a solution, if it is a bad dream, if you should know, one way of knowing whether you've interpreted the dream correctly, if you know what to do with that dream. Be that you have interpreted it to yourself, or someone else has interpreted it for you. When someone interprets the dream to you and they tell you, but I don't know what you should do now, or you ask them, so what can I do? And they say, I don't know. The chances are 99% that they didn't tell you the correct interpretation. The same spirit who interpreted the dream is the same spirit who has to advise. Who has to advise on the next step to take. It is the same spirit to advise on the next step to take. They should be able to tell you either wait on God, or pray, or be careful, or to advise according to the dream. According to the dream. Joseph's suggestions were received by Pharaoh and his officers. So Pharaoh asked his officers, can we find anyone else like this man so obviously filled with the Spirit of God? So obviously filled with the Spirit of God. Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, since God has revealed the meaning of the dreams to you, clearly no one else is as intelligent or wise as you are. You will be in charge of my court, and all my people will take orders from you. Only I, sitting on my throne, will have a rank higher than yours. Now that was favor. You see how a gift can bring you favor? People are going to start favoring you. People are going to start loving you. People are going to start trusting you just like that. The man appeared to Pharaoh the first time. And yet Pharaoh was convinced this man will perform the work. So where did he train him? How? It is favor that is going to qualify the unqualified. Are we together? So how Pharaoh was sure that this man was qualified for the job? Being the second in rank in the whole kingdom, in the entire kingdom. Kingdoms used to be so big, so wide. A young man, the Bible tells us he was appointed to this rank at 30 years. Look at our youths here of 30 years. Some of them are just even still walking along the streets looking for jobs. Others very useless. Others irresponsible. And some of them already responsible with families, a wife and children, working. Others are just there running from one girl to another girl, making so many girls mothers, yet they are not willing to be fathers. Even they are not willing to be husbands. Praise the name of the living God. At 30, we have seen his history. From his homeland, he was the youngest. You can see how this boy was. Remember his story. Even selling him to the Egyptian businessmen. The boy was just going to check on his brothers, a young one. He was still a teenager. The boy was taken to the market. He was bought off. Potiphar took him as the head of his house. So it is favor that is going to qualify the unqualified. There is a story we usually tell you about. There was a sister from this church. She went to Dubai to find a job. But while there was this job she applied for. But on the day of the interview, over 1,000 applicants stand up. Yet they wanted 30 people. Only 29 qualified. 29 people during the interviews. 29 people qualified. Then they had to get the 30th person. So they communicated. They were put in a big hall. Very big. She said we were very many. They came back, they told us only 29 of you have qualified for the job. So we are going to get the 30th person. We shall pick that person randomly. This girl was called, Pastor, please pray for me. I'm going for the interview. Then even after the interview, she called. I don't know, I've failed, but I don't know. Pastor told her, please be encouraged. God is going to make it for you. Do not worry. All is going to be well. Don't mind. And they picked they picked papers randomly. That's what they told them. We are going to pick randomly. Whoever we pick is the one we are going to offer the 30th position. They picked her papers out of over 900 sheets. They came back to the hall. They read her name. The girl couldn't believe with her ears. That is what favor does. She didn't qualify. That's why she didn't qualify in the first round. She was not among the 29. Then 29 qualified. They had the marks, they had the qualifications, they had the experience. For her, she didn't have even the job. It was because she was looking for a job. All her academic documents were completely different from the nature of the job she was applying for. She was unqualified. So favor is going to qualify you when you don't qualify. It is favor that qualifies us. We were sinners, yet God loved us. Yet God gave us salvation. He gave us his son to die for us. Yet God saved us. Not because you're very beautiful or you're handsome. Not because you speak softly that God saved you or that God gave you the gift of salvation. You were unqualified. You were a sinner because you were a sinner. I'm a sinner because I am a sinner. In my construction, inherently, I'm a sinner. Not because I sin, but because we are born sinners. Yet he qualified us to be his children, to be his beloved, to be his chosen people. That is favor, unmerited favor. You are unqualified, yet it qualifies you. It is favor. The boy was not qualifying, but he qualified. It was favor. He found favor because of the Spirit of God. Because of God, we qualify. We are favored even before those whom we think we can never even be favored. Imagine the guy had officials who were already in the kingdom, who were already in the palace, who already knew how to run kingdom matters. Isn't that so? All officials were there. Yes, kingdom matters, how they run. There was a premier, that is the prime minister. All of them were there, his officials, guys who had been there for a long time. Yet the king didn't look at them. The king said, nobody is more qualified than you, in whom the Spirit of God is. You see? Now that is favor. It qualified him. It qualified him. But what will maintain his relationship with the king? That will be character. He had to be submissive. He had to have good character. Character will maintain you in that position, will keep you in that position. But not character alone. You can have good manners. You can have good manners. You can be respectful. You can be submissive, yet you do not perform. You will not keep that job. And today I'm here to speak to us all. Christians, we are doing badly in that area. We do not want to deliver. People have appointed us. People have given us responsibilities. Even in the secular, in the marketplace. In the marketplace, you apply for a job in a big company. They offer you responsibility in a certain company, in a certain place. They take you there. Sometimes you are unqualified. It is God who has favored you. You find favor before them. Someone, so many applications. Yet someone said, let's just go with this one. God has accepted you. God has approved you. There were so many applicants. So many people wanted that job. And you, in fact, you were the one who was least qualified among them all. Haven't you had that before? Haven't you seen it before? Hasn't it happened to you? But can you remember if you performed or not? Christians, we have lost jobs. We have cast our friends. In church here, so many people are saying, I can never give a Christian, I can never give a born again a job again. I can never. Haven't you heard about it? Yes. So many of us have been disappointed. You're like, no, let me give a brotherly a job. Bambi, she's been here begging everyone for food. She has nothing to eat. He has nothing to eat. Maybe he will deliver. You have been favored. You have been favored. That's why you got that job. But we don't want to perform. We don't want to deliver. And that is not going to take us anywhere better. It's not going to make us any better than we were if we don't work on that area of our life. Let's see what happened to Joseph. He was qualified. Favor is that which qualifies the unqualified. Then Pharaoh gave Joseph, verse 45. Verse 45. We shall start from verse 41. Pharaoh said to Joseph, I hereby put you in charge of the entire land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh removed his signet ring from his hand and placed it on Joseph's finger. He dressed him in the fine linen clothing and hung a gold chain around his neck. Then he had Joseph ride in the chariot reserved for his second in command. And wherever Joseph went, the command was shouted, kneel down. So Pharaoh put Joseph in charge of all Egypt. And Pharaoh said to him, I am Pharaoh, but no one will lift a hand or foot in the entire land of Egypt without your approval. Have you seen the responsibilities we have been entrusted with? How people have favored us because of God. You see how God has approved us. You see how God has spoken on our behalf. God has approved us. God has recommended us to different people out there. Sometimes you hear those servants out there, that is in the United Arab Emirates. Some of them are being killed because some of them don't want to perform. You hire a maid here in Uganda. You find everything messed up. You leave them at home in the morning, you go back home in the evening, they have not done anything. They have not done anything. They just go around the village rumor-mongering, spreading gossip. Haven't you seen maids doing those things? And we can't do those same things out there. Those people know once you come, you are here to work, do what has brought you. No wasting time. So when we do the same things we do out there, that's why some of them are killed. Those are some of the bitter stories. That is some of the bitter truth that we don't want to hear. You see how maids perform here. You see how workers perform here. Someone is first to demand for their salary. But when it comes to work, you assign them a particular responsibility, particular work they have to do, yet they don't want to do it. You call someone you have to remind them to do their work all the time. And when you call them to do what they're supposed to do, they get annoyed. Haven't you seen them? Yes. I've hired people before. You tell someone, hey, but this one, please, why didn't you do this? What happened? And someone doesn't even want to talk. Someone doesn't even want to talk. You find everything messed up at office, at home, or anywhere. You wonder what else you should do. You keep quiet, you watch them, you give them time. You be patient with them. You give them time to regret what they are doing. You give them time to stop doing what they are doing, to change, do the right thing. You train them, you groom them, yet they do not learn anything. At the end of the day, after 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you get tired and you're like, you know what? I can't continue with you. But after giving them so much time to change, haven't you seen it before? Haven't you seen it? So as Christians, we have gifts. We have been favored. But are we able to perform? Your pastor recommends you. God has recommended us. Your pastor has recommended you. Some time back, some lady was in Ntinda. She called pastor and said, I have a good job. And I'm paying good salary. Can you find someone faithful for me from the church? What was the job? It was indeed a good job, and it had a very good salary. When pastor had a moment of silence, he was like, yes, I have so many people here. I have so many people who qualify. But I'm not sure whether... he was not sure of two things. Whereas they qualified academically, but he was not sure of their character. He said, these are the same people who give me headache here at church. So if they don't fear me as their pastor, how are they going to fear a stranger? And what will happen? Won't this break our relationship with this person? What will happen when they do the same thing they do here at church? No, I've got to be realistic. I'm not going to recommend them. I'm not going. So and so is more qualified than any of them academically. But she will disappoint us. This is a person who is big-headed. You never tell, whatever you tell her, she will tell you she won't do it. Frankly, I won't do it. I won't. So now, what will happen? So the woman will tell me, so among all the people you have in the church, this is the person you had to send me. Another one qualified, but she was lazy. And that person was in the ushers department. But this person, all the time, the chief usher would quarrel with that person. All the time the chief usher would quarrel with that person. But what? The following day, she's inside the church. I hear mopping the church. The next time, you find her outside. The next time, I hear getting water from... And the chief usher would be like, but where exactly are you positioned? Please, at least you position yourself either inside or outside or in washing, in what? Position yourself. May I just do what I want? I don't care. And please don't put your laws on me. Don't put your laws on me. That's what she told the chief usher. So now, won't she tell that same person the same thing? God has recommended us for big positions, yet we let him down. We do not deliver. Let's see if Joseph also didn't deliver. Verse 36, he was 30 years old when he began serving in the court of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. And when Joseph left Pharaoh's presence, he inspected the entire land of Egypt. As predicted, for 7 years the land produced bumper crops. During those years, Joseph gathered all the crops grown in Egypt and stored the grain from the surrounding fields in the cities. He piled up huge amounts of grain like sand on the seashore. Finally, he stopped keeping records because there was too much to measure. During this time, before the first of the 30 year of the famine years, before the first of the famine years, 2 sons were born to Joseph. Okay, we can skip that. At last, the 7 years of bumper crops throughout the land came to an end. After Joseph had piled and stored up food for the entire land, to the extent that they stopped making records. The food was too much. In every village, they had to put a storehouse. All people in that area would bring the food. They had to keep food that was able to take them through the 7 years of famine, the next 7 years of famine. And if God had not used someone so intelligent like him, the land of Egypt would have faced it rough. That even the 7 years of plenty would have been forgotten. It would have been forgotten. Are we able to do the same during those good days? During your times of plenty, during that week of plenty, during that month of plenty, are you able to save something for the next days, for the next month? The 7 years ended. Then the 7 years of famine began. Just as Joseph had predicted, the famine also struck all the surrounding countries. But throughout Egypt, there was plenty of food. Eventually, however, the famine spread throughout the land of Egypt as well. And when the people cried out to Pharaoh for food, he told them, go to Joseph and do whatever he tells you. So, with severe famine everywhere, Joseph opened up the storehouses and distributed grain to the Egyptians, for the famine was severe throughout the land of Egypt. And people from around came to Egypt to buy grain from Joseph because the famine was severe throughout the world. Have you heard that? Have you seen that Joseph did not only have the gift, he was not only favored, but he also delivered. He performed. He performed. The Bible is telling us, verse 50, during the first years of famine, 47, during the 7 years, the land produced bumper crops. During those years, Joseph gathered all the crops grown in Egypt and stored the grain from the surrounding fields in the cities. In every town, there was a store. In every town, there was a store. In all towns, he put stores. So, from the fields to the town, from the fields to the town storehouse. The Bible is telling us people all over the world went to Egypt. And history tells us it was Joseph who made Egypt rich. Because of the food he stored, he made Pharaoh a very rich man. He made Egypt a rich country. From all over the world, people went to Egypt to buy food. To buy food. Is your boss able to recommend, to speak of you that you have really performed, that you have really delivered? We have been recommended by God. We have been favored before. Today, I want us to know that favor alone is not enough. Even your gift, those of you who are not employed, you are here praying to God to give you jobs. You have done well. But I want to remind you that only that gift, only prayer, as you are praying for that job, you should also pray to God to give you the ability to deliver, to perform when you get to that job. We have been very disappointed. We give you jobs, you don't want to do them. People give you jobs in their companies, in their farms, in their entities, in their shops, in so many places, yet you don't deliver. It is time to work, you are sleeping. It is time to work, you are praying. Can't you find a convenient time to pray? And when they try to correct you, you say, no, none of you can separate me from my God. Please, can we style up? Can we start doing the right things at the right time and even in the right place? You can even pray without anyone noticing that you are praying as you are doing your boss's work. Yes, you can pray, nobody's even noticing you are praying. Or they know that girl delivers. That man is really performs so well. So, but you want everyone, you want all of them even to live wherever you are. You even send away the customers because you're praying. And you want your boss even to increase your salary. You even come here and tell pastor, but this boss is mean. I've worked for her now, it's 5 years, 7 years. Yet she does not increase my salary. Ladies and gentlemen, those of you praying for husbands, praying for wives, performance is as good as that prayer. Is as good as God has recommended. God has qualified you to marry a certain man, to marry a certain woman. In fact, if it had not been God, that woman wouldn't get married to you. That woman wouldn't marry you. Or that man would not marry you if it wasn't God who recommended you. If it wasn't God who spoke. If it wasn't God who approved. Yet when you get into that marriage, I've had it before, it is one of the reasons why so many Christian marriages are failing. The divorces are on the increase. People are only focused on praying for husband. Someone just wants someone to sleep with. That is not for us Christians. As much as you want that man, as much as you want that woman, can you prepare yourself for performance? First, know what you're supposed to do when you get there. As a woman, as a man, know what you are supposed to do when you get there. You will die of stress for nothing. Today we are eating food, we are here on your wedding. The next 2 years or 6 months, we find you there. You're even running away from us. You don't want us even to speak to you. Everyone who asks, but how is your husband? You don't even want to respond. How is your wife? You don't want to respond. I wonder why I met this curse. Sure, I met this curse. It was a big curse in my life. Praise the name of the living God. Can you perform? Can you do your duties as a wife? Can you do your duties as a husband? Your focus, I don't know where your focus is always is. I don't know, dear ladies and gentlemen, where is our focus as we are praying for husbands? As we are praying for wives, where is the focus? What is exactly in our hearts as we are praying for partners? Pray to God as much as is going to qualify you before that man, before that woman. Let him also give you the ability to perform, to do what you're supposed to do when you get there. Someone was saying, me all I'm after, I must wear a gown, I must wear a ring. Another one, I was counseling, we were studying counseling. She told me, Pastor, now, why do I have to they have those proverbs of when you get healed, you sleep in the hospital. Those type of proverbs. Do you sleep in the hospital after you have been treated? What? Those proverbs. Then were like, but now, Pastor, I worked so much to get him. But now after getting, why shouldn't I relax? Why shouldn't I relax? I wanted a wedding gown, I wore it. I have a ring. No matter what, I am his wife. I am his wife. And that is why divorces are on the increase. You want pictures. You want your pictures to trend on social media that you wedded. You want people to see the wedding ring. You want us to call you Mrs. Mrs. such is evil. We shall call you Mrs. such is evil. But you shall lose that position. You shall lose it if you don't focus on performance. As Christians, we do not prepare for weddings. We don't. We prepare for marriages. Don't prepare for weddings. Prepare for marriage. Prepare yourself. Know what a wife is supposed to do. Know what a husband is supposed to do. We are talking about performance. That is why the marriages are fading. 2 months down the road, 1 year down the road, 2 years, 3 years down the road, they are both cursing each other. Performance. We focused. We wanted to please people. Now that we have seen you wearing the gown, now that we have ate your food, can you go and perform? Oh, now that was the end of the business. That was the end of the business. From there, you hope that you curse the day you found her. You curse the day you found him. It is because we missed the point. Let us not miss the point. I am telling you, favor is good. Performance is as good as favor. God will favor you. God will qualify you where you are unqualified. However, we have seen Joseph. He was unqualified. Joseph was unqualified. God qualified him. Do you doubt that? Yes. There were guys who were qualifying. Guys who know how kingdom matters, palace matters, how the things were supposed to be handled. Yet God qualified him for the second highest job in the kingdom. Second after the king. Is that a small position? If he qualified, he didn't qualify for that job. He did not qualify for that position. It was God's favor which qualified him. But after God's favor qualifying you, are you able to perform? Can you focus? This is where I will encourage all of us. If it needs you to go and do a certain course, a short course, to acquire certain qualifications, to upgrade on your skills, go and do it. If it needs you to seek help, go and seek help. Are we together? Go and seek help from those who have gone before you. If you see things are not going on well, the way you expected them, but we die in silence. We want to fake life. We want people to know that we are doing well, yet we are not doing well. We fear embarrassment. We even fear to break. We even fear to spill, like to speak out and say, you know, I expected to do things this way, but things are not going on well. Can you help me? What can I do? Some of you cannot even go and seek help because you fear to face the truth. They will tell me, we saw you, we warned you, we told you please first go to school. You ran away from school. You fear to make harmony with your past. And until that fear goes away, things will not change. Things will not change. It is God who qualified you. Now that God qualified you, can you acquire the skills you need for that job, for that position? You a woman, you a wife. Can you seek out for help? Can you go and speak to those people who have gone before you? Can you seek help? If it is a job, can you acquire qualifications? Can you go and you can enroll for a course, a short course? Oh, anyway, you can see how to do it. You can make research. You research about it. You qualify yourself later on. First, God qualified you when you were not qualified. But you can as well go and qualify yourself. You can look out. You can seek help. You can acquire the qualifications. You can acquire the skills. You can seek counseling and guidance and all that to make sure you perform as per the position you occupy. It does not stop at giving you that job. You should acquire the qualifications. If you want to maintain that job, if you want to maintain that marriage, you should acquire. You took yourself to that marriage before you qualified. God qualified you. Now that because you can't know everything at that time. Some things are reserved for those who are already there. You will never know them until you get there. You will never know them until you get there. You will never know everything until you get to that job. Until you get into that home. That's when you will know. And it is at that point that you are supposed to acquire what it takes. You are supposed to get what it takes for you to maintain that position, to maintain the marriage, to maintain whatever it is. It is never too late to make things right. It is never too late. If it means going back to school, first putting down everything and you go back to school and you acquire the necessary qualifications, do everything. Do whatever it takes. You can't be ashamed of making your life better. You can only be ashamed of people. You can only be ashamed of people knowing about what you're going through. But if you want to make your life better, you suffer alone. You suffer alone. You don't suffer with them. None of you knows even what you're going through. Stop fearing people. Stop like appearances. Public what? Public comments. What will people think about it? What will people think of me? What will people say? What shall we say? We shall say whatever we have to say. But you have to do what you are supposed to make yourself better. If you fear what we shall say, then you will forever be like you are. You will not change your life. You will not get better. You will not improve. Stop fearing people. Stop fearing what people think. Stop fearing what people do. And lastly, as I wind up, if you want to disempower what people say, if you want to disempower all your fears, start now to speak out. You will get the confidence from speaking out. Let it be you to speak about your weakness. Don't let people speak about your weaknesses. Let you speak about them. So whoever or your weaknesses about what you're going through, such that when someone speaks about it to weaken you, to embarrass you, you have already spoken about it. You're like, but no, that is not a big deal. I don't hide my weaknesses. I don't hide it because I want to seek help. Until you are able, until you can freely share what you're going through, that is when you get the cure for it. Until then, you will fear everyone speaking about it. You will avoid all those who speak about it. You will avoid people who speak the truth. Everyone who speaks about it, you will hate them. You will take them for enemies, yet they want to help you. Everyone who speaks about it, everyone who speaks something like something connected to it, you're like, that one is now talking about me. You hate them. You hate them. The reason you hate them, because you have kept it a secret. So, start speaking about it yourself while you seek help. When you speak about it yourself, you have disempowered it. No enemy will use it against you. For you, you are not using it against yourself, but you are using it as a strength. You are using it to search for help. That's how it will become your strength. That which was your weakness will become your strength when you finally find a solution to it. May God bless you. Raise up on your feet. Raise up on your feet. Kalimuka ku bigere ebyo. Ebirabo bituseguliza. Favor etusembye. Ne tuteeka mu bifo gye tutasaanira. Era olwaleero tubadde tulaba ku bulamu bw'omusajja ono Yusufu. Ekirabo ky'okuvuunula ebirooto kyamuseguliza kyamutuusa ewa kabaka. Favor ya Katonda n'emusemba, kabaka n'amuwa omulimu omunene. Yali muvubuka wa myaka 30. Mu lubiri mwalimu abasajja abakungu ba kabaka abaali bamanyi emirimu gy'obwakabaka bwe gitambula. abaali baludde nga bakola ne kabaka balwaninga emirimu gy'obwakabaka ate nga Bamisiri. Naye ono yali Mwebbulaniya, sina wansi eyo. Muvubuka muto gwe weebuuza kabaka yajjawo amaanyi agamwesiga amangu ago. Yeeyo gye bayita feva. Ekusaanyiza nga tokola ki? Nga tosaanira. Ekyo ekikusaanyiza nga tosaanira kye bayita feva. Naye ndi wano okugamba olwaleero feva yokka temala. Abalokole tuswazizza Katonda, tuswazizza buli omu. Era oli kati akalambira n'agamba nze sisobola kusemba mulokole ku mulimu. Temwagala kola. Babawadde emirimu mugirekawo. Obeerawo buli kaseera olaba budde bwakola weefuula asaba. Okitegedde, neweefuula asaba n'otandika n'okunyeenya omutwe mu ofiisi z'abanno. N'otandika okwogerera ennimi mu ofiisi z'abanno. N'otandika okwogera obwama, n'otandika okwogera obwama, babuyita bwama. Oli n'alowooza oba oliko ekikyamu. Ku mulimu gwa munno osobola okusaba nga teweesitaza bala, oli n'atamanya nakumanya nti osaba. Sikugamba nti tosaba, naye osobola okusaba nga bw'okola emirimu, oli n'atamanya nakumanya nti okola ki? Ova ku mulimu mbw'ogenda mulankyawa. Okitegedde? Twagala performance. Wasaba Mukama yakuwa omulimu, can you perform? Yesu yeebazibwe. Tulina okubeera bwe tuba twagala obulamu bwaffe okukyuka, tulina okubeera okutuuka ku ddaala eri balancing ebintu bino. No balancing ekirabo kyakuseguliza kyakukwasaganya n'abantu abo. Feva ya Katonda neekugwako neosendebwa ku kintu ekinene. Eno yali feva, omwana yali takwalifayinga. Mukama atusembye mu maaso g'abakama baffe, atusembye mu maaso g'abaami be tugenda okufumbirwa, mu maaso g'abakyala be tugenda okuwasa. Bw'otuukayo n'olyoka omalayo vulugu yenna n'ogamba Katonda kankikukola okitegeere. Okitegedde? Kankikukola ojja kitegeera lwaki wansemba. Mulekerawo okwogerera ennimi mu mawofiisi mu mirimu gy'abannammwe. Saba mu mutima gwo. Yesu yeebazibwe. Sawa bw'eba yakola. Performance kikulu nnyo, okukola ky'olina okukola kikulu nnyo. Bayibuli etugambye Yusufu n'alyoka akuŋŋaanya emmere mu Isirayiri mwonna, ne bateeka amasitoowa mu buli katawuni, ne bateekamu emmere mu myaka 7 egyasooka. Emyaka 7 egyaddako egy'enjala, abantu baayina emmere, ensi yonna enjala yagwa, ensi yonna. Emmere baagigulanga mu Misiri. Yesu yeebazibwe. Baagigulanga mu Misiri lwa nsonga omusajja eyali mu position ey'okukuŋŋaanya emmere yakola ki? Yakola omulimu gwe. Tukitegedde? Omuvubuka 30 years yakola kye yali alina okukola ki? Okukola. Era yakolera Misiri obugagga bungi nnyo, kubanga ensi yonna baagenda e Misiri ne bagula emmere. Kati nnyabo oba ssebo gwali wanampuliriza oba ndaba, Mukama yakusemba ku mulimu ogwo. Abamu mwalinnya n'ennyonyi abamu mwalinnya n'ennyonyi ne mugenda, Mukama n'akusemba n'owa obujulizi. Abamu mwayimirira wano ne muwa obujulizi, abalala mwabutuweera ku ssimu. Ali ku kamera njagala nkwate bulungi, kuba njagala ensi yonna buli mulokole waali andabe nga mubuuza ekibuuzo kino. Wawa n'obujulizi abamu mwabutuweera ku ssimu, abalala mwajja ku kituuti ne mubuwa. Mwasanyukana nnyo. Abalala mwakola ne zi Thanksgiving. Naye njagala nkubuuza ekibuuzo. Omulimu ogwo Mukama gye yakusemba okola? Obufumbo obwo Mukama gye yakusemba okola? Oyo omwami Mukama gwe yakuwa, oyo omukyala Mukama gwe yakuwa gye wagenda, okola paati yo ng'omwami? Okola paati yo ng'omukyala? Oba ogamba kimuuze nali nfa kubeera mu kadaali, kagawuni nakambala n'akagalo n'akakikano akaweta ku lugalo nkayina, ate abalokole tebadivosinga, mulina teri gy'alaga. Wangi amaabo temubawulirangako? Mwe mubeera wa maama kirayika muli batukuvu, mubeera mu ggulu. Wangi temubawulirangako? Nze nali nfa kaki? Nali nfa kwambala gawuni, ekirala nali njagala ssanyusa bamama bange. okitegedde. Mami mama wange yagambanga mwana wange walindeetedde omuba naye simanyi era nali mpulira nga njagala mama wange bannanga ndabe mu gawuni nga mama wange yayagalanga abaana be bawasifumbirwa embaga nali njagala musanyuse. Mama we yamala okusanyuka kati njagala okumanya okola obujulizi wabutuwa bwe watuuka ku mulimu gye baagukuwa weebaka bwebasi. Oliawo oli mu kusabira boosi wo omuwamba obwongo mu linnya lya Yesu nkukola ki nkwambaza kimanyi biki omuwamba obwongo aleme kugoba buli lunaku essaala obudde bw'omala ng'okwata obwongo bwa boosi wo aleme kugoba bumale ng'okola emirimu gye. Mukama waffe Yesu yeebazibwe. Oliawo owamba obwongo bwa boosi nkusiriwaza nkujjamu okutegeera nkujjamu nkigaana tojja kungoba nkwambula emizimu gy'okungoba kwambula emisambwa gy'okungoba kwambula emyoyo egy'okunkyawa mu linnya lya Yesu mbeerawo wano. Abamu mulangirirako ne ku mabeera mwezi ogundi mwafuuka ddabalogo mwerangirirako okubeera nga munywera mwezi ogundi entebe mu linnya lya Yesu nja kubeerawo neesimbawo sijja kuvaawo nze ndi nkonge. Weebale nnyo wenywerezeewo. Naye mu kwenywerezaawo njagala nkubuuza ekibuuzo okola wangi banyabo ne bassebo nga tonnaba kuzirika nseko gwampuliriza era ndaba okola oba obeerawo buli kadde oyambuka ne ku prayer mountain owamba boosi w'obwongo nkuwamba mu linnya lya Yesu nkutaayiza togenda kungoba nkulemerako nkutaayiza mu linnya lya Yesu nkwesibako nina okukolera na bonna b'obadde olaba b'obadde oyagala okuwa omulimu gwange mbagoba mu linnya lya Yesu. Ojja kubagoba naye nkulayirira omulimu ojja gufiirwa. Yesu yeebazibwe. Ekirabo kya mugaso. Character yembala ya mugaso. Favor ya Katonda ya mugaso. Era tusembye naye obuzibu tetwagala kukola. Buli awulira ebigambo bino okuviira ddala essaawa eno tetugenda kusaba. Nkugambye genda otandike awo wennyini ogwo omulimu gw'obadde okola. Ekyo ky'omanyi ky'olina okukola tandika okole. Lekeraawo okusaba obusabi essaala okuwamba boosi wo. Okitegedde okumutaayiza aleme kugoba. Lekeraawo genda okole emirimu gya boosi wo. Yesu yeebazibwe. Oli mukyala owulidde ebigambo bino essaala osabye nnyingi kati ddayo okole omukyala kyalina okukola ki? Oli mwami osabye nnyo weebuuzizza n'odduka eno n'odduka wa naye kati nkugamba naawe ddayo okole omwami kyalina okukola ki? Okukola. Mukama abampeera omukisa. Leta ekiweebwayo kyo ekimu ky'ekkumi saddaaka buli kimu gwe kyoyagala leeta maaso ga Mukama. Taata w'omukisa abakazi n'abasajja abawaayo abandaba. Mukama akuwa omukisa ng'owaayo era akuwa ekisa okole ky'olina okukola. Weebala okusaba weebala okusiiba. Twebaza Mukama eyakuwa ekirabo. Twebaza Mukama akuwadde okuganja. Twebaza Mukama n'embala ekyuse naye kaakati kola. Kubanga bw'otokola ofaanagananga n'atalina mbala wadde atalina kirabo wadde ataafevalingibwa wadde ataaganja. Kubanga enkomerero bagenda kugoba ogenda kulemererwa osigale ng'ofaananye n'oli atalina kyalina. Nangiridde omukisa gwa jjajjaffe Ibulayimu, Isaaka ne Yakobo. Taata eri abo nga tuva mu kifo kino tukulembere mu linnya erya Yesu. Bonna be tubanja wiiki eno batusasule n'abatubanja tubasasule. Mukama nangiridde obugabiriza abaana abatannaddayo ku ssomero Mukama agabirire. Mpita school fees buvanjuba bugwanjuba bukiikakkono muddeyo ku ssomero. Era nangirira n'obukuumi ku baana bonna abaddayo ku ssomero ku masomero eyo gye basomera. Mukama beetoolooza obukuumi. Nkwebaza Mukama kubanga otegulula emitego gyonna egy'omulaba egibadde giteeze mu makubo wonna ombi wabadde ateegedde tuwangula mu linnya lya Mukama waffe Yesu Kristo omwana wa Katonda omulamu n'ekisa kya Mukama waffe Yesu Kristo n'okwagala kwa Katonda n'okussa ekimu okw'Omwoyo Omutukuvu beere naffe ffenna n'eri abooluganda bonna emirembe egitaggwaawo. Amen. Kale worship team duka emisinde olinnye ekituuti.